Hello everybody out there and welcome back here with the future once again, and I have a special showcase and review to do for everybody here today. It's actually a look at my Star Trek collection. I am a huge Star Wars fan, but I'm also a huge Star Trek fan as well, especially the original series, but I do respect all the Star Trek that came, the Next Generation, the movies later on and whatnot. But in my opinion, the original series, Star Trek, is hard to beat. Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner as Kirk and Spock, you just can't beat it. Live long and prosper. Rest in peace to Leonard Nimoy, by the way. But also, you know, Sulu, played by George Takei, and there were many others that played in the original series that were so good, so good. You had Bones. Just the entire cast was so memorable, and the stories were not only stories about, you know, science fiction, but also they always had like some kind of moral or underlying moral to them, and that's why I really enjoyed the original series. The later series were not as good in my opinion. They got better as far as effects and everything went, and as far as like they made Klingons look like Klingons that he really wanted to have them look like. Gene Roddenberry, who's a genius in my opinion. I'm a huge fan of Gene Roddenberry, but he's the one who came up with the idea for Star Trek. But I've collected, you know, quite a few things here, figures, some vehicles and whatnot. I'm a big mint on card collector, so most of this stuff's mint on cards still. But I do have one figure out of the package, but I'm also going to show off like the movies and DVDs that I have, VHS, and also I have a book as well. So yeah, I thought it was going to be interesting to show off, so I hope everybody enjoys this right here. If it's your first time watching, make sure you hit that subscribe, give me a like, and drop a comment down below if you like what you see here. If you're a long-time subscriber or a repeat viewer, I really appreciate all the support and all the feedback. And keep it coming, guys. I really appreciate it. So now let's look at my Star Trek collection, figures, movies, books, and more. Let's check it out. So here we have it. And you can see here, starting with Micro Machines over to the left, so I have some old school and newer school. Some of the Diamond Select Star Trek figures. I'm going to take a closer look at these here soon. One of the Playmates 2009. Loose 1994 Generations Kirk there. Some other figures from 94. The very underrated Star Trek line from Playmates, in my opinion, from back in the 90s, was very underrated. It started in 92, and I think that specific line ran till like 99, and then they started changing some stuff up, but kept releasing them. Also some more Diamond Select figures over from one of my favorite episodes, Mirror Mirror. And then you have, of course, the USS Enterprise, NCC 1701. So we're going to take a look at all this stuff. But first of all, I have some stuff up here that I've never really showed off too much in any video. And this is a novel by Star Trek's creator, Gene Roddenberry, and it's based on the screenplay by Harold Livingston and the story by Alan Dean Foster there. As you can see, Star Trek the Motion Picture, which was not a great movie by far, in my opinion. They could have done so much better. But the thing about it is that this was actually started off as a new show called Star Trek Phase 2, if I'm correct. I've actually saw a little documentary on Phase 2, and actually if I can find that, I will actually put that up in the right if I can link that here in this video. It's very interesting on how this was actually starting off to be a show and ended up being the motion picture. Like Leonard Nimoy was not going to be originally involved, and they were going to do a new Klingon character. So this book is cool. My brother gave this to me. He found a bunch of books in a basement one time, and this was one of them in there. And so it's a full novel. No like colored pictures or anything. But on the back, a cool picture of Gene Roddenberry there. Pretty damaged, you know. As you can see, the cover here is pretty damaged up top, but I'll keep it on there just because it does say Star Trek the Motion Picture on there and everything. Pretty neat book. And speaking of Star Trek the Motion Picture and the original movies that they did, first of all, I will show off my set here, my VHS set. It's very cool because it has the first 5 that they did. The only one that doesn't have is the Undiscovered Country, which they did later on with a 6th tape and made a set with that in there. But it has the first 5 Paramount Picture movies that they did. There's the motion picture here. Then you have Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, The Voyage Home, and The Final Frontier. Very cool. The Wrath of Khan, probably one of the best ones that they ever made in the movies, but they did not release a figure line in that one. I had just learned. So no Wrath of Khan toys out there at the time. Man, they could have made a killing if they would have done Wrath of Khan toys, in my opinion. But the movies were not well done. I mean, even though these were the original series cast, you can see that they changed the outfits and everything on them. You've got everybody there, but even though it was the original series cast, you have Uhura over here, Scotty. You got everybody on there, Sulu, Spock. But even though it was the original series cast, it didn't capture the same magic that the first original series television show had, in my opinion. 25th anniversary collector set here too, it says. Star Trek, the movies. So very cool. I have this up on my, displayed on top of my entertainment center. And it looks very cool because they make up the Starship Enterprise there. And each one of them have a different picture on the front, which I'll take them out here and we'll see each one. And I'll put them back in the box. But there you have the first one, motion picture. So very close, or it's exactly the same as the book was. They used the same cover there, as you can see right behind it there. Very cool. And then you had Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, which was the best one in my opinion. And there you have Khan on the front. I wish they would have kept the outfits the same though, like I said. Changing things up, in my opinion, is not cool. And there you have the search for Spock. I know they were trying to, modernize it. And each one, has a picture from the movie on the back too. I don't even know what Wrath of Khan. I have a couple copies of Wrath of Khan. And then you have part 4 here, which is still sealed, never opened. Final Frontier. I don't plan on busting it open anytime soon. Well, that's actually part 5. Sorry. And this is the Voyage Home, part 4. So I got those out of order. I should have known by the Roman numeral, but nonetheless, this set is very cool, in my opinion. So you have 1 through 5, and like I said, they did the Undiscovered Country next. And then in 1994, they did this film here, which was Generations, where it was like Captain James T. Kirk meeting Captain Picard from the Next Generations. You see Data there too. Pretty cool. But it brought, the original series and the Next Generation together. Montgomery Scott, Chekhov, everybody was brought together from the original series. And the Next Generation cast, Patrick Stewart as Captain Picard, which he did an alright job. And then you got, of course, Captain Kirk. You have a Klingon there, putting the hurt on somebody. Sorry about my dog there. A smashingly entertaining mix of outer space adventure. So yeah, the reason that I'm showing this off, very bad copy by the way. Not only is this part of the collection, but I also have an action figure from Playmates here that I found in a flea market. Just looking around in there. It's actually a thrift shop. I was just looking around in there and found this Captain Kirk in spacesuit. And what's funny about these figures that they made is they actually got his rank wrong and they called him Admiral Kirk instead of Captain Kirk. But I gave him this Star Wars blaster from a 3 3/4 inch fig, and that's about the size that he is, 3 3/4 to 4 inches. But I thought it was very cool. At first I was like, what is this? Thought he was some kind of generic core figure or something that was thrown in there, but it was a Playmates Captain Kirk Generations fig. He doesn't have his helmet and everything, and none of his accessories, but nonetheless, he looks cool with that blaster from Star Wars. You see on the bottom there, 1994 Playmates toys. So that was a very cool score. He came in a card back with Generations on it, but it's a very cool that it goes with, the movie there. I don't even know if he came with a blaster in the actual figure when they released it, or what kind of, accessories came with him. I can't remember, but he looks cool with that gun there, in my opinion. So that was a very cool find. And now the other 1994 figures, these are very underrated in my opinion. Like I said, they didn't catch on, and still collectors, they're not very sought after by collectors to this day for some reason. But you have Lieutenant Barclay here, engineering specialist of the USS Enterprise. He's got a bonus Starfleet base included. This is from 1994, never opened, so I'm not planning on opening it. Engineering tool, anti-gravity pallet, and a fencing foil, and a cryo canister, however you say that. Warning labels, you have your Playmates toys. Playmates didn't, the most famous for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back then. Dick Tracy, some other lines that they did, but these would have fit right in with that size character. Same size as that Kirk Generations fig there. Pretty much from the same line. Different movies. Space, The Final Frontier. Attention collectors, each figure individually numbered too. I don't see where the actual number is for them. But that's cool that they did individually number them. I see there's a number on the bottom there. Maybe that's what they're going by. But you also got like a Pog. I don't know if anybody remembers Pong. Or Pog. Yeah, it was called Pog, right? Collect each space cap, they called it. With Playmates, Star Trek, The Next Generation action figures. There's his fencing foil and whatnot there, and the canister. But what a trip back in time with this. New exclusive Playmates Collector Space Cap. The adventure has just begun. Collect the entire universe of Star Trek characters. Commander LaForge. Commander Data as a Romulan. Commander Riker as a Malkorian. Probably saying that, butchering that. Captain Picard as a Romulan. Lieutenant Worf in Starfleet Rescue outfit. Lieutenant Commander Deanna Troi in Star Trek The Next Generation 6th season uniform. You have Lieutenant Barclay and the Huborg. It also says the video game on Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. Can't beat that. Coming soon. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Must have been around when that first came out. You have a collector card down here. Very cool. 1994 Paramount Pictures. Star Trek The Next Generation. Shows you all the things that come in it. He's always ready for action, it says. So yeah, very cool. Not busting them open. Love the packaging on the back. I have those hanging actually. And here's the Huborg figure from the line. The back is exactly like the other one, except it has the Huborg card down here, which you can pause and check that out if you want. Shows the stuff under the power regulator. Scanner device, mechanical telescoping arm, Borg action base. Very cool. I like how they say new. And it has the actual Walmart sticker on there. $4.94. Love the design of this figure too. I'd like to get one out of the package. These are pretty pristine. The packaging on these was amazing, so that's why I never did bust these open. So there's the Huborg. Put him back. And the Lieutenant Barclay figure. And yeah, I showed you the Captain Kirk. So that's all the stuff there that has to do with all that. Now we're going to get into some of the stuff with the original series, and now I'll go into like some DVDs that I have here, kind of jumping around. First of all, I have the two J.J. Abrams efforts. Both were directed by J.J. Abrams. You have the first, it was like a redo, like a reboot of the original series. They used new actors as Spock and Kirk and her and whatnot. But there you have Star Trek. They weren't that greatly received, but they did do Star Trek Beyond, which I have never saw yet. Some people really liked them and some people did not like them. But being an original series fan, I thought they were pretty decent. They did some effects in them and whatnot that I would not have done. But I did want to show those off as being part of the Star Trek overall collection. There's Into Darkness. You see they used the original series, uniforms and whatnot, which I think they should have done in the other movies that they did with the real actors, but this one was pretty good. Benedict Cumberbatch was in there. Cumberbatch was Khan. He did a pretty good job in it. I thought Into Darkness was good. I need to see Beyond. But then I have this, The Best of Star Trek, the original series, just has some random episodes on it. The City on the Edge of Forever, Trouble with Tribbles, Balance of Terra, and Amok Time. And Amok Time is actually where they have, where they have the fight to the death. Yeah. Almost mixed that up with the figures I have over here. That's the Mirror figures. I'll show you here in a second. But there he is with the furry little Tribbles, William Shatner. So this is cool. I actually let my friend who's a teacher borrow this. Kirk and Spock's Greatest Adventures. He showed some to his class. He never really saw the original series. It's a great series. And then I have this awesome CBS DVD Star Trek the Original Series, the complete series remastered box set of all 79 of the original episodes there, brilliantly remastered with enhanced visual effects, over 7 hours of special features too, which can't be beat. And here you see the inside, pretty much exactly the same as the outer cover there, slip cover is. And there you see on the inside what each season and disc has on it. Trying to see if there's any commentaries or anything on it. I do see, no, I don't see any actual commentaries. That'd be cool if they would have had some commentaries on it. But nonetheless, all 79 episodes in this set. Can't beat it. Very awesome. And yeah, that's all my original series DVDs that are related to the original series. But now let's check out some figures that are related to the original series. This was a Playmates Star Trek Galaxy Collection Sulu. Actually busting open here at the top. I was tempted to just bust it all the way open. This was from Playmates in 2009, I believe, when they made these. And you see the back here, the Galaxy Collection had each figure comes with unique accessories. You had Kirk, original Spock, and then Scotty, Sulu, even Captain Pike there. Very cool. And Cadet McCoy, Uhura, Cadet Chekhov, and Nero. And you see each of them came with the pieces that you could recreate the USS Enterprise, the bridge, by collecting additional pieces inside Galaxy Series figure packs. So that was cool that you could make up the bridge. But I knew somebody who actually had all the pieces for the bridge and did not like it really. So bonus USS Enterprise bridge part, B4. Of course you got the logo there to the left. Very nice. From the Galaxy Collection by Playmates. And then I have 3 other figures to round out my Star Trek collection here. So there wasn't a ton. I don't have a ton of figures, but these are very cool. The Toys R Us exclusive James T. Kirk in dress uniform. I seen Spock there, I wanted to say it. From Star Trek the Original Series. Has his communicator down here and a phaser. I love the classic dress uniform that they had for Kirk in the original series when he wears that. He doesn't wear it too often, but when he does, I always thought it looked badass. Ages 8+. These are more like collector friendly figures here. There you have a little write-up. Other things from the line. Retro figures. Look like they were the Mego style figures. Star Trek motion picture 2-pack. classic tricorder. Deep Space Nine Series 2 there. You have the Amic Time 2-pack. Star Trek Classic Wave 1. Rathacon Kirk there. Classic Communicator. Classic Enterprise right there. And the Classic Phaser. And there's your Diamond Select toys. I really have always been a fan of Diamond Select. I think they do good stuff. 2009 CBS Studios. But yeah, gotta love the Diamond Select Star Trek line. 2009. Same year as the Sulu Galaxy collection from Playmates. There was a lot of Star Trek stuff coming out around that time. I think that was the time when the first Abrams movie was released. Yeah, 2009. So it's no surprise that that's when all this stuff came out. And then I have the last two actual action figures, and it's from one of my favorite episodes, Mirror Mirror. And it's the Mirror Mirror Kirk. This is when they get, you know, doppelgangers from a mirror universe that are like evil versions of Kirk and Spock and the rest of the crew. And you can see I love Spock with the goatee there. But you also have Khan here on the side. They're very cool. They give you extra hands. Of course, you get the communicator and the phaser, and you got like a knife there to go on his side. I love how they have the sashes around the waist. I love the look of the Mirror Universe Kirk and Spock. Very neat. Some different stuff on the back here, actually. As they have Series 5 action figures right there. I think that's a little bit different than the other one that I picked up. Yeah, because they have Series 2 here on the back. So that's pretty much the only thing. Well, then they have Star Trek Classic Wave 2 there, which looks like kind of funny because that has the dress uniform Kirk there. But the dress uniform Kirk has a different thing on the back, has Classic Wave 1. So that's the only difference there on the back. Little write-up there. So, Mirror Universe Kirk. And then, one of my favorite figures, Mirror Universe Spock. Which I just love the look and always have loved the look of Mirror Universe Spock. Very, very sad that he passed away finally on us, but he was getting up there. But sadly, you know, he's no longer with us, but still lives on. Leonard Nimoy lives on always as Spock. All these guys are getting so up there in age. All around. I think Kirk and Spock were actually the same age. But on the back here you see the same as the other Mirror Universe Kirk. If you got Kirk, you have to have Spock when I pick these up. But yeah, sad that he's passed away, but nonetheless, like I said, lives on as Spock. But I'm always happy to see that I have, you know, the Mirror Universe Spock and Kirk here. And then some vehicles that I have. Actually, I'm into mini vehicles, really. I don't have any big vehicles from the original series or any of the other movies. But I have these smaller Micro Machine size. I have a Hot Wheels USS Enterprise here from the 50th anniversary for Star Trek. Yeah, this was released in 2016 when it was the 50th anniversary. I've done a video on this too. Released by Mattel Hot Wheels. Very sweet. I had to have a version of the Enterprise. But then, I picked up another version of the Enterprise when I went to a flea market. And yes, it was a flea market for this one. The last time I said flea market, and it was thrift shop. But I got this I think this is 1993, I believe, when I looked up. Let me see here. Or yeah, 1993. I was right. It says collect all the Micro Machines Star Trek collections. So you have original Star Trek Collection 1, Star Trek the Movies, and Star Trek The Next Generation there that you could collect. And I think on the back it showed them all too. And this was the one with the USS Enterprise, Klingon battlecruiser, and the Romulan bird of prey. You had the USS Excelsior, Klingon bird of prey, and the USS Reliant from the movies line. Vessels from the motion picture series, vessels from the original television series, and vessels from the hit television series. Next Generation, you had the Klingon Vorsha attack cruiser, Borg ship, and a Romulan warbird. Very cool. Little write up there. It said collect all the Micro Machines Star Trek collections. These were released by Galoob back in the day. And yeah, these are the you have the USS Enterprise, the Klingon battle cruiser, and the Romulan bird of prey from the original series. So modeled after the ships from the original series, which I'm a huge fan of the original series, so I had to pick this up. I think I got this for like $5. It says the original scale miniatures, and when I was little, these were the original, little vehicles, little size cars and whatnot. Was always a big fan of Micro Machines as a kid, so I couldn't pass this up. The Micro Machines Star Trek collection. This is the only one I was, even interested in getting too, because I am a huge original series fan. Not so much of the movies and Next Generation, even though I do have figures and stuff from it. I'm more of an original series guy. So yeah, that's very cool to have all those in the collection. But there it is. I didn't want to take forever on this, guys, so I'm glad you bared with me this long so we could check out all the stuff that I have in my complete Star Trek collection here. And yeah, I think it's pretty impressive. Hopefully I will collect more over the years, and I will do updates and reviews and whatnot on anything that I add to the collection. But yeah, guys, may you live long and prosper. Thanks for checking this out. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a comment down below, and give it a like if you like what you saw. And until next time, guys, like I said, live long and prosper, and as always, peace out.